Hey everyone! Today we're going to dig into Google Sites to learn how to use this amazing and free tool to create a web presence for our students and community. The first thing you want to do is make sure you're logged into either a Gmail account or a Google Apps for Education account, and you can navigate to Google Sites by either clicking on your app launcher in the top right corner here and clicking on Sites, or simply navigating to sites.google.com. Either way will work. Once you're there, you'll see a red Create button. Click on that. And you want to make sure you select the blank template. Don't be fooled by the lure of Classroom Site. This template has a lot of extra pages and features that will actually take more time to undo and personalize than creating it from scratch. So go ahead and make sure blank template is selected. Then you're going to name your site. I like to name my site something simple like my name. So I'm going to call it Miss Magara's Math Class. At the bottom here, you'll see the URL automatically generate by your site name. If it's not available, it will tell you here. You could select a theme if you want to. These are just the aesthetics of it. Ski is the simplest one that is auto-selected, so I like to leave that alone. More options include a site description and making it suitable only for adults, which for school you won't need anyway. So I usually don't even bother by clicking on these. I just go right to the bottom, type in the code, which sometimes you don't need to do in an educational domain, and then at the top I click Create. If for whatever reason your URL here is already taken, you can edit it directly. That just means somebody else already has that class. For example, if I were to write something like Miss Smith's class, that's probably already taken. So if I click Create, it says that my location is not available. So that's why we wanted to create something a little bit more unique. You can just go ahead and edit this until it's available. Once my site has been created, it takes me to a blank page where I'm able to edit it. On the page, it'll automatically have a left-hand navigation bar, the title, and a home. If I want to add pages, I can click on this button right at the top that looks like a paper with the plus sign. As I add pages, it will automatically add to my left-hand navigation. Let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to click Create Page, and I'll create Homework Assignments. I have 4 templates I could do. A web page, which is sort of like a blank document I can type into. Announcements, which is like a blog roll, and each time I add a post to it, it will add to the top and push down the previous announcements. File Cabinet, which allows me to add PDFs or documents to my page. I would warn you that with file cabinets, it does quickly eat up the storage space on your Google site, so be sure that you don't add too many files. Or list, which is great for syllabi or reading lists, or maybe a list of items that you want parents to buy for their kids. Right here is where you can have your page location, where you can create a table of contents for your website, and it allows you to later organize it. I usually don't worry about this when I'm starting a new beginner site, so I usually just leave it as web page and put it at the top level, but it's important to know what these things do. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create, and you can see that it automatically adds this page to my left-hand navigation bar and allows me to edit it. I'll just click Save. Now, to edit a page, I can click on the pencil. So for example, if I click on Home and go back to my home page or the main page, and I click on the pencil, it allows me to type in content here. So I could write, "Welcome to my class page." If I wanted to, I could insert an image by going up to the Insert menu and clicking on Image. I could upload images from my desktop here, or I could go to a web address and insert an image from a Google image search. So I could type in, for example, eagle, because our school mascot is eagles. Click on image and find, go to search tools. I'm going to go ahead and change the usage rights to labeled for reuse. So these are pictures that I'm allowed to use. I find a nice picture of an eagle, and I'm going to go ahead and click View Image. That gives me the URL for this image, so I can copy it. So edit, copy, and then come back over here and paste it. Here's the image. I can hit OK. And now I have it. Now it's way too big. So to change it, I'm going to look for this toolbar and click on S for small, M for medium, L for large, and 100% for filling up all of the page, or original for the original size. I think medium looks good, so I'm going to do that. The link allows this image to be almost like a button. So if you were to click on the eagle head, it will actually go to the original image, and it defaults to that. If I click change, I could change the link to be something else, like www.nationalteachersacademy.com or something like that. So I'll just do www.school.com for now. I can choose to have this open in a new window so that when people click on it, it doesn't close the Google site that they had open. I can also right justify it, left justify it, or center it. I'm going to center it for now. And can I allow the text to wrap or not? So I've got my picture, I've got my text. I think I want to center this text. I'm going to go up here to the font and make it bigger, maybe change the color and make it bold. I could even change the font itself if I want to. So I could go ahead and play around with this as much as I want to. I'm going to click Save at the top, which is important. After you edit a page, you always want to click Save. And then you can see the edits right here. Let's say that you don't want this home button to show anymore. What I can do is go to the toggle, the settings or more options toggle right up here, and I can scroll down to page settings. I can unclick show page title, and then when I hit save, it'll take away that title right up at the top. So it makes it a little bit more clean. Now let's go ahead and add another page. I have home, homework assignments, and sitemap. Sitemap just shows me all the different pages that are in the table of contents for my website. But let's say I want to add another one for exit tickets. Go ahead and title it, hit create, and you can see it adds it to the left-hand side navigation here, and I have exit tickets. Now what I want to do with this exit ticket page is not just have text and images on it, but I actually want to embed a live Google form that I've already created in my Google Drive. Here in my Google Drive, I've created a Google form, math exit ticket, that I want my students to take tomorrow. And I want to get it to them by having it embed in my Google site. So I've created the page, and when I go to insert, instead of clicking on image, I'm going to go over here to Drive. Then I'm going to click on Form, and I can see that I have my exit ticket right here. I'm going to click Select and click Save, and then I'm going to click Save for my saving my page edits. You can see here now that I have the exit ticket embedded right in that page. So let's go ahead and see what that would look like. If I click Home or on the page, here's my home page. If I click Exit Tickets, you can see I have them right here. And then homework assignments is still blank. If I want to add some homework assignments, I click on the pencil to edit the page. And then I could go ahead and add some homework assignments. So I could say Monday, March 2nd, 2015. Maybe I want to bold that. And then I can create a bullet point list of things I want my students to do. I could say read pages 23 through 25 in A Tale of Despero. I could say complete pages 4 and 5 of your math journal. If I wanted to, I could add files down below here. I click on the pencil to edit this. I could even add links. So I could say click here for more help. And then if I highlight this and click on this chain link icon right here, I can have it go to a web address by clicking on web address. And I could link that to maybe a YouTube video. So I could go to YouTube and I could say fractions for kids. Let's say here's a great fraction song. So I could put that URL here and click OK. And now the kids can click there to get more help with their homework. Now this is all great, but sometimes I want to add more. Let's say I want to add maybe some resources. So I'll click on the page, the Create Page icon, and I'll click More Resources. I'll click Create. And now I want to add maybe a Google slide presentation that I have created here, all about birds, to help students learn about birds. And I want to embed it right in the page. So I'm going to go to Insert, Drive, Presentation, and it looks in my Google Drive for all of my different slide decks, and here's all about birds. Let's also insert one about, so I'm going to go back to Insert, and then Drive, and then Presentation. Let's insert one about Google Chrome. Hit Save. So I have two presentations here. I'm going to click Save to save this, the page edits, and you can see that these are embedded Google slideshows now that I can click through right here in my Google site. The kids can click right through them. So you can see to edit, so let me go back to the pencil to edit the page. When I go to Insert in the Edit view, I can insert all these different Drive items: documents, drawings, forms, images, presentations, spreadsheets, and videos. And as I insert them, they're live. So that means if I were to come over to this Google presentation right here and change it, let's change this to, maybe make this font red and change Sam Student to green. Then when I come back over here to the page itself and I refresh it, it's refreshed here in real time. So I don't need to re-embed it or reinsert it. As long as I edit the original Google document or Google slideshow, it updates on the page itself. The same thing goes with the Google form. If I were to edit this, it would update. If I were to edit this in the Drive right here, it would update on the site as well. If I want to change which Google form is shown here, I can just click the pencil, then click on this widget right here and click on the spoke. And you can see here there's a change button. So let's say it's Tuesday and I want to change it to a different Google form. I could go ahead and click on a different Google form, click Save, and click Save again. And you can say it changes which Google form is showing on the Google site. So I don't actually need to change the form itself. I can just go ahead and create new forms in my Google Drive and then update it on the site. Now, let's say I don't like this left-hand navigation. Let's say I want to create a horizontal navigation. To do that, I can click on the More Options toggle, and then I can go over here to Edit Site Layout. I can click on Horizontal Navigation, and what this does is it creates tabs across the top of my page instead of on the left. I click Sidebar to turn off the sidebar, and now I have tabs. Now notice how the tabs across the top do not auto-populate like the sidebar did. Every time I added a new page, it automatically added here. Horizontal navigation is more aesthetically pleasing, but it takes a little bit more work. To do this, you need to click anywhere in the horizontal navigation bar right here when you're in the Edit Site Layout view. And then I need to click Add Page. And then I need to manually add the pages that I've created one at a time. I can move these up or down using these arrows, and I can also do drop down by using the left and right arrows. So for example, if I put more resources under homework assignments and then did an arrow right, it'll become a drop down menu under homework assignments. Let's take a look. I'll hit OK. I'll close the Edit Site Layout window, and now you can see I've got Home, but Homework Assignments, when I hover over it, drops down to more resources. And then I also have Exit Tickets. And I kind of like this horizontal navigation a little bit better. I think it's more visually appealing, but it's totally up to you. Remember, to edit the horizontal navigation or to add a page to it, I need to first create the page. So I'll create the page and I'll call this Student Work and click Create. I can add student work here by inserting things from my Drive, inserting images, doing a lot of different things here. So I'll just put a bunch of nonsense for now. I'll click Save. But notice how student work does not show up in my horizontal navigation. To get it to show up, I go to my More Actions toggle, go to Edit Site Layout, click anywhere in the horizontal navigation area, click Add Page, and then I have to manually add that new page here. Click OK, and then click Close above, and then you can see it's added. Now the next thing that a lot of folks like to do is change the background. This is pretty ugly, so they want to edit how their page looks. To do that, they go to the More Options or More Actions toggle at the top, and then they go to Manage Sites. At the very bottom, you'll find Themes, Colors, and Fonts. They click on that, and then they can edit the entire page. They can edit the background, so I can change the color to maybe something a little bit more pleasing. I can edit the actual text of the page itself, the fonts and the sizes. The site header is this up here, so if I wanted to, I could change the color. I could change the image up here if I wanted to. And I could change the content area as well. I can also change the fonts of the horizontal navigation and also change the colors there as well. Once I click Save, I have the ability to go ahead and preview it by clicking on my site name on the top left, and then I can see it right here. Now, if you want to change this entire image up at the top, you can create images and edit the background image of your page as well. So let's go ahead to Google Image Search. And let's say that I want to add an image up here like a background image of an eagle. So I'll search eagle again. I'll click Images, and let's find this beautiful soaring eagle. Let's say I want to save this. Here we go to my desktop. Then when I come over to my site and I click on the More Actions toggle, Edit Site Layouts, oops, sorry. That wasn't wrong. The More Actions toggle and go to Manage Site, Themes, Colors, and Fonts at the bottom. And I click on Site Header. I'm going to go to Image and I'm going to click on the Image button. And I'm going to click on the Bald Eagle Wallpaper Flight JPEG. And it actually replaces that orange part right there with the image itself. I can go ahead and decide if it repeats. I can make it centered, align it to the top or the center, like that, and you can see it's right there, and hit Save. Now you can see that the image is there, but it's not quite big enough to see the image. It's not tall enough. So I'll click on this More Actions toggle, click on Edit Site Layouts, and then if I click on the header area right here, I can change how many pixels high it is. So I can make it really big, like 500 pixels. And you can see I made it really, really big. Or I can come back to Edit Site Layouts, click right here and make it maybe half the size, 250, hit OK, and then hit Close. And you can see I made it a little bit bigger. You can see that you can no longer see my title here, so you might want to change that by clicking on the toggle, going back to Manage Site, clicking on Themes, Colors, and Fonts, clicking on Site Header, clicking on Title, and changing the font color to something a little bit brighter, like maybe white, and then you can see it. So you can see you need to hit Save and go back. There's a lot of back and forth. You want to try things out, iterate, go back and forth to go back and forth and edit it to make it look nice. Hopefully this is a good starting point for building your Google site. Hope this helps, and I can't wait to see your sites in action.